To understand a learner's needs and how you can best help them on their self-directed learning journey, you need to really deeply observe their learning process. So as you do this, you will understand that the learner that you are witnessing learns differently than you learn. And this, I think, is an important part of the process, because we naturally kind of see the world the way we are. So especially, as a parent, when I had young children, I had a sense of how I learned, or at least how I survived school. And so I expected each of my daughters to learn the way that I learn. And it was a really freeing process when I discovered that each of my daughters' learning processes were completely different than my own. It freed me to step back and be more of an observer and not have to kind of drive the process through what I understood about learning. So as you witness the learning process and observe it proactively, and as the children witness you witnessing them, they gradually will take on that role as the observer of their own learning. So what matters most is that the adults in the self-directed learning space, believe that the learner's interests, questions, and ideas are worthy of attention and support. To honor individual interests and ideas, they need to be witnessed without judgment. And in self-directed learning, the primary work of the educator, the parent, and the mentor is to pay attention to the learner's work and reflect on it so they can respond in a thoughtful and a useful way. And it's without judgment. That's a really critical piece. So if a young child, for instance, is spending some time on a piece of art, rather than be like, wow, that is awesome, which is like an easy judgment to do, it's far more useful in a self-directed learning process to step back and say, well, you took a lot of time working on that, and I see you use lots of colors, and explain it to me and ask questions, because that's going to really, unfold what is happening with the learner. But if we just come in, great job, awesome, that's not so useful. And what happens to the time that maybe our enthusiasm isn't what they expect based on the past? So we as humans want to be seen. And that's one thing that is so missing in our schools today. Children just sit there in desks and they don't feel like they have a real authentic connection with the adults around them. So to really see someone, you have to pay some, attention and some time, and really know that this is at the core of self-directed learning. Humans are social creatures, and we get our cues from other humans, especially when we're young and developing quickly. Now, Laurie Pickert, in her book, Project-Based Homeschooling, really emphasizes the importance of parents showcasing their children's work, because it shows children that you value their work. I had the honor of working with Kathleen Forsyth at Self-Design, and she created a process called Observing for Learning, which is a very simple but profound process of seeing children for who they are. And the thing that Kathleen would always say is it's so important to see children just as they are, not who we expect them to be, not who we hope them to be. And really, when you're observing their learning, see what's going on. Look beneath the surface, not just the activity, but what is the mood? What is the emotion? What does the child do when they experience a block or a frustration or a failure? And so we're not just observing for the outside of what's happening. We're trying to really understand the internal process of learning that's happening with the child. And we can ask them good questions about that. Oh, I see that you got a little frustrated, but then you tried it this way and it worked out. And sometimes we just need to, step back and observe and reflect. It helps to keep a journal. In Reggio Emilia, they do a beautiful job of documenting learners' work, and it's through the process of observation. So the first internal element that you need to consider in designing a self-directed learning place is seeing learners for who they are. So seeing them and valuing them.